7, joining you from all corners of the world. Once more, this is Kamata/ReverseG/Gino, your IPL senior admin, and joining me are my fellow admins, Rowan and Athens.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
We're not talking about what happened beforehand, but also we are joined by a whole bunch of people from the IPL, including the Unaware Thing, Lunak, and Leviathan Ofuda, as well as...
Free of the Arcane.
Here?
Free of
Sweet!
the Arcane.
Free of the Arcane!
Hooray!
All right, let's thunder through these headlines, shall we? let's not dilly-dally around and do anything that might cause issue. All right.
Okay.
What's our first headline?
Our first headline: details for the Thieves and the 1,000 Pokémon announced. The official Pokémon website has announced further gameplay details for the Thieves and the 1,000 Pokémon. The object of the game is to steal back jewels that have been stolen by thieves. To do so, players control a group of Pokémon that have to defeat the thieves' Pokémon that stand in their way. The thieves in the game, Ninja Riot and his Greninja, and Marilyn Flame and her Delphox also appear in the Pokemon movie Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction. This game is available via the eShop on Japanese 3DS consoles from June 5 to September 30.
All right, what are the chances of this making it to the West?
Pretty likely.
Pretty likely,
Yeah.
yes. Give it a couple of months.
I'm annoyed that there is no Chestnut in this game. Oh, maybe there is. I don't know.
It probably is at some
probably
point.
is.
Well, technically, it's a movie tie-in, and Chestnut is a good guy.
Woo!
Awesome.
All right, I am looking forward to staying up until past midnight to download this, like I do every single Pokemon title thus far. I was meant to stay up and go grab Tomodachi Life, incidentally, but no, I'm staying away from that game as I already have enough time sinks in my life.
Mm.
And Mario Kart 8 is one big one. We'll talk about that later.
Mm.
All right, next headline, please.
Temporary Pokemon Center now open in Paris. The store is scheduled to open in Paris from June 4 to 21. It will present an exhibition of illustrations from the video games, which will include previously unpublished preliminary sketches. In addition to the exhibition, the store will also provide an interactive space for fans along with a variety of events, such as a tutorial for attendees on how to draw the franchise mascot Pikachu. An exclusive section of merchandise from the Japanese Pokemon centers, including plush toys and T-shirts, will be sold at the store in parallel to these events. Visitors will be able to meet Pikachu itself, who will be greeting its fans and taking pictures with them during the weekends.
All right, now there's
There's also a limited edition Pokeball Pavilion to be distributed at the store.
I do want so bad. Look, there's an entire photo stream of stuff. We'll just link through it in the description on IPLCast 7 when it's over, and I'll probably post it on the IPLCast journal as well, so everybody can gush and be jealous about how people in Europe are getting even better stuff than the people in the U.S. and or Australia. Sadly. Also, if you're wondering why I've got substitute plushies on, I'm running with a cold right now and it's not too good, so I'm putting a prettier picture. All right. Anybody else want to comment with regards to the temporary Pokemon Center?
Very jealous.
Yeah.
Not a kid in sight in the pictures, please note.
Oh yes. We've been looking at the pictures, and yeah, there's not a kid. I don't think the kids are interested in it anymore. They can go play Code Lyoko for all I care. Dofus even. Pokemon's ours. Now the Fancy Pattern Pavilion. How close are we to 100 million right now?
We're at 90,900,000 and counting.
Okay. So if you're listening to this, Wonder Trade.
Yeah.
No,
Wonder Trade like mad.
I think it's just online trades, not actually Wonder Trade. Is that right?
Online trade.
Yes, GTS trades.
Okay,
Yes.
now GTS trade like mad. I have EVs. I'm planning to ship out to the world.
I
Ours
have
are
some spare legendaries that I'm going through, and I'm picking which ones that I might trade for other legendaries.
Please note, she said spare.
Yes, I have spare legendary.
All right, let's move on to the next headline.
Next headline, Delta Emerald trademark registered by Pokémon. A Pokémon trademark for Delta Emerald went live today after originally being filed on May 2nd. The domain name for the potential game title was also registered on the same day as Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Whereas Alpha and Omega mean beginning and end, Delta means change. The chances of this being a new Pokemon game are unlikely based on past company practices, as Pokemon usually registers multiple game titles every generation. Among many others, Pokemon Gray was registered during Generation 5, and Pokemon Water Blue is also registered in Generation 3. But no core Pokemon titles have ever been discovered early through trademarks. It seems Pokemon just registers multiple titles to cover their bases.
You know, they used to have this thing where they reserved the domain name of every Pokemon that came out.
Mm.
You could enter PokemonName.com and it will direct you to the Pokemon website, but that doesn't seem to have been carried over into X and Y.
I think there's a bit too many of them now to do that.
Yeah, 700 odd domain names is a tough thing to keep track of.
Yeah.
All right. Look, Delta stuff. Again, anytime you rely on Pokemon's trademarks for any sort of rumor mill regarding new releases, it's usually completely a red herring. But you never know. Like Omega Ruby, like they've been doing really well at having just 2 versions so far. They don't necessarily need the 3rd version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the third version is usually an iteration, general improvement over the previous 2 versions. But with their ability to patch stuff now, I don't see that being an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Then again, lately Nintendo has been doing stuff that it's never done before, simply to freshen up the system and stuff. So, to be honest, it could go either way. Like, it might be a bit of a stretch at this point for this particular thing, but it could.
I know at least one person who will scream if we see Holon show up in the main games. That I think would represent confirmation by the mother company that the place exists, rather than its current tenuous, questionable canon placement in the TCG.
I'll just.
But there are true believers. There are true believers. I'm not doubting you.
Wasn't Colin in the anime as well?
No.
I don't remember.
There
the
was
anime.
this TV special.
If it was, I haven't seen it. Otherwise, I'm running with the assumption that it's just kind of they developed it for the TCG to give Mew a backstory. So we were making an OCT. We just thought, why not? So we kind of made it our own thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, Olin has never appeared in anything other than the trading card game.
Oh, I'm probably thinking of something else.
You might be thinking of the Adventure Special episodes, because I know they take an occasional break to actually do decent things for once. All right.
Gen 7. Yes.
Gen 7 being in Holon, oh man, that's just gonna open the floodgates. I'm gonna let Athens host the show if that ever happens. you can run the entire show and gush the living daylights out of Gen 7 if it happens to be based in Holon. I'm just gonna sit here bemused. Right, so.
You know, it'd be cool though, if someone made a Pokemon mod that was like Holland based.
Now get RPG Maker.
Could do that.
Hey, Athens, Rob, the RPG Maker weekly bundle is still on, I think.
It is.
You can get it for cheap.
RPG Maker VX and XP, a whole bunch of DLC packs, the character creator hub. I dropped bucks. It was the only actual significant game purchase I made in the last 2 weeks, except for Mario Kart.
Note me with the URL for that because
I am looking it up now. I do not want you to miss out on this.
Mm.
awesome.
No, oh my God, did they miss it? No.
It's
No.
over.
Oh,
Oh,
Um,
Oh. I'll just say
I'll
what.
I'll send you. Yeah, I know it's. Ah, dang it. I think it expired. Yeah, it expired yesterday. Damn it.
too
no.
bad.
Damn. Wait. Yesterday
I'll
Australia time or yesterday?
yesterday U.S. time.
Oh, damn it. Excuse my language. Send me the
I'll
link
note you about
anyway.
something. Huh?
Send me the link anyways. I'll just save up my money and get it myself for later.
Yep. They've got Steam keys and downloads for it as well. So I'll just hand it over to you via stuff. I'll find you on Skype. Anyway.
Yep. I'm invisible most of the time, so if you just leave it in, I'm popped on. Whatever.
Aha! Okay. That's why I can't find you. All right, let's go with the next headline while I do some administrative stuff here.
Okay. Next headline: changes made to TCG Set Legality rules. Pokemon's organized play director Dave Schwimmer announced last week on Play Pokemon's forums that TCG sets will now be legal 21 days after their official release date instead of instantly. This will also apply to promo cards, event promos, and TCG products. The reason for this change is probably to give more flexibility to release dates, especially since stores do not consistently release Pokemon products at the same time, and some events that give out promos are often held across multiple weekends. Thus, even though Furious Fists will be released a few days before Worlds, it will not be legal to play.
Kind of makes sense, but yeah, it's
Fair
it's kind of a
enough, but yeah.
kind of a bummer. I wanted to see people use actually really develop the metagame, just a few days before Worlds. It would have been nice to see it. I think it would have made great promotions for Furious Fists as well, considering it just comes out beforehand. And these are, the people who play the TCG at this level, even in the junior division, are people who can think up deck strategies rather quickly. They don't rely on a single deck strategy all their way through nationals.
Yeah.
All right. Incidental to this, the nationals are going to be streamed live on Twitch. I'm not sure if it's happening in July. It might be July, or is it? I'm gonna have to check. This is kind of important for TCG people. So I'm gonna confirm it. Yep.
It's on July 4th to 6th.
It's on the 4th of July.
Nationals will be held from the 4th of July till 6th.
Okay. Also, you cannot just go in and participate. You need at least 10 play points to compete if you're in the Masters division, and 5 points if you're in the junior or senior player, which means you cannot just go in. You actually have to have participated in sanctioned events in the lead up to this. Also, if you are a member of the Masters division, there's a $30 entry fee. We didn't have that here. I believe the Australian Nationals are going to be held in Melbourne Town Hall on July 16th. So we're looking forward to that. Best of luck to our Sydney contingent. You can kick everybody else's ass as far as I'm concerned. It's really weird to have Australians represent at the senior and masters level at the VGC and TCG World Championships last year, but I'm looking forward to seeing them place at the very least, because if there's anything if I expect Australia to rank up or place in anything this year, it isn't the World Cup. Okay, let's go to the next headline, please.
The next headline is another TCG-related one. Yet more Charizard, new Mega Charizard collection for August. Yet another new product has been announced for August. The Mega Charizard collection will be released August 18th and will come with Mega Charizard X or Y as a figurine, 4 booster packs, and a special Holo Charizard promo. This product is different than the Mega Charizard box, which will also be released in August, and features one of 2 Jumbo M Charizard EX. And hang on, Rob, you got to move your thing there. There we go. And the Charizard box,
That
which was
didn't sound
released
weird.
last month. No product image or price is available yet.
Sorry.
In addition to this, I think they've released the previews for a 76 booster display box for Furious Fists. I think it was. Yeah, no, not Furious Fists. Yeah, that or the next expansion.
Fire?
Is it Flashfire?
I don't know.
remember that name.
No, it's Furious Fists.
Wow.
Alright, this thing has 72 booster packs, 8 theme decks, 16 holo promo cards.
Oh dear God.
I've actually contacted.
Oh, the launch kit?
Yes. The quote-unquote launch kit. I've contacted Banter Games for a quote. They haven't gotten back to me, probably because I'm not a distributor. But yeah, this I have purchased a booster box before. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Have you
Hold
still
on.
got it
Retail
there?
price is retail price is $400
$400.
That's a whole damn paycheck.
US. $400 US.
Ouch. That's
a whole
hard.
paycheck. Oh my God.
Well,
You know
we're
what?
looking at 2 booster boxes and 8 theme decks, so that's a lot.
That's not bad actually for $400, considering
Yeah.
considering a booster box is about $180 Australian.
Mm-hmm.
It's not and it's 16 holo promos in addition.
Yeah.
And
Theme
not
deck.
to mention the gambling of the actual cards within the booster packs. You know, some of the best cards are hidden in those.
This is yeah, I'm still going to reckon you're not going to get a complete set in one go
That's
from
true.
knowing the rarity of the cards. You're going to be lucky if you get any of the secret rares.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's been completely randomized. They've actually, the randomization algorithm for this, I think, has been criticized for being too random.
Too random?
Well, at
It's
least
been too random.
At least in one box, you get at least 6 of the really rare cards. But
Yeah,
there's
but
still that 50-50 chance of getting a secret rare.
I remember that when we opened the booster box, of all of the polls, we got 1 secret rare and 1 full holo, and then 5 non-full holos. So, like, non-full mega rares. So it's in there. I've heard people who have pulled 2 or 3 out of a box, so it's not a guaranteed number, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It's a $400 roulette.
yeah,
much.
but you're pretty much gonna have more. You're pretty much gonna have all of the commons in multiples of like 6 or 8.
That is true. That's perfect for deck making when you can only put 4 copies in a deck.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
given that this is a non-base expansion, the energy cards are going to be lacking. So I would actually recommend it's more economical to buy a trainer kit, because you get it's essentially a sealed deck thing. You get energy to play with as well.
Well, technically, this is the launch kit, and we still get 8 theme decks, so those theme decks are going to have energies. But
Yes.
they're going to be very specific.
Yeah.
Fighting, psychic, and I can't remember the other one.
Dark?
Fairy?
I think so.
Yeah, because one of the theme decks is a Pangoro, while the other one is a Sylveon.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously it would be Fairy. The other one will be Dark and Fighting, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably Fighting because Pancham doesn't become Dark until
It would be.
evolves.
It would be.
Moving on.
All right. So yeah, if anybody wants to pull together for this thing, yeah, I'm welcome for negotiations, but I'm not holding my hopes up on the Sydney component anyway. Um, we'll see what we can do, is what I always say. Next headline, please.
Okay, this is a cool one. Mega Evolution Special Part 1 available on Pokémon TV. The first part of the Mega Evolution Special is now available for viewing on Pokémon TV. The special previously aired on Cartoon Network this past Saturday and in Japan on April 3rd. Part 2 was also recently announced for Japan, but no release date has been determined yet. I must see this.
Yes,
It's
it's
a good
on
watch.
now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
I
what I'm
haven't
doing
actually.
this afternoon.
So it's up there. We're waiting for part two. Part two, I think, it's going to premiere in Japan at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Duh. But there's no release date for part two. But yeah, I usually love watching the non-Ash Pokemon episodes
Yeah.
for
Ash is
the
an
sole
idiot.
reason that they don't feature Ash. So I don't have to deal with an outright inane storyline. I just have to deal with one that feels contrived from time to time. But
Speaking of
considering
which,
it's mega, yes.
it's been revealed that Ash gets a Halucha. I don't know how to feel about this development.
A what?
A Halucha, the
the
fighting
last
fly.
wrestling.
He gets an Halucha?
I know.
Yeah.
On one hand, I'm upset that twerp's getting it. On the other hand, at least it's on his team, so that means it gets screen time.
Yeah.
Huh.
The voice of negativity is like, yeah. And then you're like,
It's like I'm excited and disappointed at the same time.
We hate Ash, confirmed.
it's a love-hate relationship. Mostly hate, but occasionally love.
Thank
And
you.
mostly pity.
Lots of pity.
Yeah.
Lots of pity. Okay, finally, we can move on to the IPL stuff.
Okay. So the next one, Cool Contest is over. The IPL
Oh.
Cool Contest results have been posted tonight, with the Cute Contest starting tomorrow. Congratulations to all participants, and good luck to the future ones.
I love the
Yay.
entries.
I
I'm
literally
loving
just
the
hit
entries.
submit.
I am gushing at the entries.
I love the entries. You all did so good and made judging so hard. I loved it. Thank you.
I wasn't able to enter.
Now's your chance. Go cute. Let's make it
Yeah.
cute.
I'm tempted to enter the Cute Contest since only Rob handles the judging and all of that other stuff. But us other two admins are actually free to enter this without worries.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
preoccupied right now because I'm working on chapter 2.
Oh yes.
Sneaky.
Because
Sneaky.
I can't enter the Meander because I have information on pretty much where it's going, and I'm drawing all the pictures. So I would be like, I don't think it would count too much since I can't really influence any more than what my attack does. But at the same time, like I do know what's happening, so I probably shouldn't.
You're
You
right
only
here,
have
though.
five.
The amount of influence you can exert is a lot greater than you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a dangerous power.
Yeah.
Being betrothed to the senior admin and knowing the info is a dangerous power. Speaking of the Meander,
Marlowe's Meander fourth room is going. The intrepid adventurers have taken down the cultist Venonat, but they're making an awful racket, and the cultist Poliwell has drawn a sword. Stay tuned for Global Battle Union for updates as it happens.
you're on turn 2. How did turn 1 go for you guys?
I thought turn 1 went fairly well. It's just that the deadline was extremely short, and then real life decided that we shouldn't be in the Meander.
Mm.
I
It's
agree.
a bit it's a bit jumpy, but I mean the transition between turn 1 and turn 2 isn't that great, and it's not like you're taking gobfuls of damage anyway.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's this looks extremely manageable. Honestly, compared with the Dark as Elf, you guys, this is clear stealing.
By comparison.
It's an unfair comparison. But yeah, what was it? Sunny Day and Roar on one turn.
Yeah, you guys are gonna pay for that. I've seen.
Thanks.
I drew the. You're gonna pay for it.
Everybody has been.
At that point, I'm like, what are we stopping the cultist Venonat for again?
I didn't think of that.
What was it?
Good job,
Callum
though.
spent about 10 minutes just laughing maniacally as soon as he realized what you guys had done.
I was like, anyway, I looked at I looked at how you guys subdued the Venonat as well, and I'm glad you guys didn't kill it outright. I think you subdued it with snuggles and love.
That was Phoenix's awesome idea with her super motherly Aerodactyl.
That's amazing. It was I essentially called this exit counseling for cultists. Amazing job. The Venonat has a chance at a good future. You have freed it from its bondage.
I hope you don't mind. I'm stealing one of your Gallades. Zippy and I are totally stealing one of your Gallades from the Meander. I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind.
It's the one I totally flipped the gender on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Have fun with turn 2. We'll see how that goes. And have fun with room 5 once you get there.
We're gonna kick room 5's butt.
Okay, so related to the Meander is our next headline.
Okay, Marlowe's making a Worldbook. A law preview section has opened up in GBU, and Marlowe will be taking the law contributions regarding, and then the sentence.
Oh, right, and that's where
you can finish
that
it.
stuff off. So basically, the Worldbook is being written right now. It's laboriously long. I'm not even kidding. We downloaded a table of contents plugin for the doc just so we could keep organized. It's organized, I believe, into the different nations. You may have seen that in a previous poll in the Meander. It describes the different countries and all of that. What Marlowe is taking contributions in involves basically places of interest and notable personalities. So if there are any places of interest or notable personalities that you can think up with regards to particular nations, and we'll be putting up the previews of each nation every week or so you guys can get inspired. Feel free to submit them through GBU, and if they're really cool, we'll actually plop them into the Worldbook. There's a map being built for it as well. There was a limited preview of it somewhere. But also, if you're playing in the Meander, pay attention to the the little Twitter timeline to the left of the column on the front page, because occasionally comments do come through that have something to do with relation to your turn.
You're gonna make me go full black turny on this, and you're not gonna like that.
So yeah, just make sure that you're sorted in there. Hold on. Yeah, Marlowe's telling me that you're gonna get it on room 5.
Tell Marlowe I've got a sunny day where the sun don't shine normally.
You may have noticed Sunny Day's effect was still traveling through turn 1.
Yes.
If you look at the log, it's essentially been hit or miss for the cultists' ability to defend themselves. But yeah, Polyworld's drawn a sword. Serious business.
It's a nice sword.
So have you guys actually looked at the current lore preview in GBU?
I saw the other morning.
This has to do with the water nation of Makara.
Mm.
Yeah,
Makara.
there's an entire list over there.
Okay.
If I ever call it Makora, I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, next headline.
Next headline, DevMe. The DevMeet is obviously still on, but we want your feedback. What do you want to see? What do you want to do? Is there anything really RPL related you want to accomplish while there? Let us know. To clarify again, for what is it, the third episode now? The DevMeet is in the Philippines, Manila.
Yeah. So we've got people who are confirmed. They're gonna sneak up like a ninja and show up.
Mm.
So if you want to, essentially, if you want to like, if you're turning up at the DevMeet, what do you want to do? What do you want to see? Is there anything in particular you want to happen? And are you like, if we were to give away a prize, what would you want most of all?
And you have until October to tell us.
Yeah. So give us until about I'm gonna set a deadline for stuff you want to see to about September, and we can do some adjustments to that. But at least that'll give us time to actually look for stuff you want or plan stuff you want. We'll have the Pokemon Cry guessing game as per usual.
I
On the
probably
thing,
shouldn't
so
participate. I'm too good at
you shouldn't part. You're an admin. You're excluded from this one.
it. Yeah.
Right. So that's the DevMeet. Like I said, if you guys want to travel all the way to the Philippines to show up there, that's fine. But hey, if you want to, if you already live there, just organize with us. We'll be more than happy to accommodate. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. The Unaware thing has confirmed he is going.
Hooray.
We're going to, once we finalize the date, we will confirm it. Leviathan, you're going, aren't you?
Of course. Why wouldn't
Yep.
I?
And Lunik is gonna ninja around, and we're gonna have to spot him.
I confirm nothing.
See? Paranoia at its very finest. All right, so the Unaware thing is just pointing out that he's confirmed everybody to the left of his icon on. That's great. Okay, so let's move on to the final IPL headline for IPLcast 7.
Before we move on, I just want to remind you were planning to give away a residency key on air.
That's what I said. That's what the last headline is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't written anything for that either.
I know. I just wanted you to say the headline, but there you go.
Okay, the headline is the residency key giveaway.
All right. I am giving out a. I don't know if you've heard about this. I've announced it in an IPL journal, an update journal before. We are giving away a series of residency keys. Each of the admins and Marlowe have a set of residency keys to give away. These give you first point access to the IPL residential area when it comes out.
Didn't we try that residential area thing once before?
No, that was the commercial district.
It was a commercial district.
Okay.
Residential area is going to be played differently. So anyway, the way the residential area works is we're going to be bringing out a map of the residential area. Each of those lots is going to be a separate deviation, I believe, on Pokémon League, just so it's far easier to track. And we also have a bunch of keys corresponding to each of the lots, I think. Not each of the lots, but we're to the total number of lots, plus a bunch of free ones. Now, yeah. So we each have a series of keys. I've detailed that to the other admins. I have 5. You two, I think, have 8 each, and Marlowe has crap tons. And these give people. There's only one per deviant, I think it is. I'll double check. That gives you early access to the residential district. So if you're invested and you want to set up a residence in the IPL, you get first shot at what lot you want. And then once all the residency keys are exhausted, we can properly start opening it up to everybody else.
Okay.
So I am giving away the Onyx key. Okay?
That's a lot of background noise.
I know that's an immense amount of background.
You're not dying, are you?
Oh crap. Okay. I am giving the Onyx key away to the first person on IPLcast who can name the Pokemon whose national dex number I give out.
So the national dex.
National dex. Ready?
Hold on. I need to Google this. There we go.
Got my source.
Okay. You have to write it on the chat, and I will announce who popped it there first because yeah, chat's probably the fairest way for it. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't actually compete with this.
No, you can't. You have your own set of keys. Come on. By the way, Athens and Rowan, your keys are free for you to give out to whoever you want in whatever method you want.
Cool.
When's the final deadline? I'll have to come up with something to give these keys out.
Maybe.
I'll probably announce it a month before we actually launch.
Okay.
Okay, so I will actually might as well go to. I'm going to go to DeviantArt chat. Is anybody in DeviantArt chat right now?
Me, Yana, Lunik, maybe, and
Okay.
Katsuni Okami.
Okay.
Okami?
There's only one. There's only one of Lunik, right?
There's only one right now. There used to be 7
Yeah.
of him.
Tyrone might come back though.
Maybe. We'll see if Tyrone makes a return. Okay. Your national Pokedex number is 668.
668.
Jeez.
Got it.
Gotcha.
I'm looking at the chat.
Which chat?
Either.
Let's either chat. I'm paying attention to both.
No one's
Oh, here we
posting
go.
it.
Hey!
Yay!
Yay!
Hey.
All right. You get not Doublade. All right. The correct answer was Pyroar. So, woo! Nigel gets the Onyx key. There will be another one giving out on. Will be there will I'm giving another one away, but that's going to involve your copy of Pokemon. So this is open to everybody who owns a copy of Pokemon X or Y.
Mm.
But that won't be today. I'll announce it on IPL update.
Oh dear.
Um,
Tournament?
kids, aren't there enough events going on already?
Good night, Frank.
The blood she will flow is a thing on chat I didn't think. Okay, all right. All right, let's move on, shall we? What's our next thing?
The next thing is the battle analysis. We're doing 957, which is Abby versus Emile.
Ooh. Do we know who? Someone's phone.
Not mine.
Someone else's phone. Oh. All right. So Abby versus Emile. This was judged by Res.
Oh, look, our judge is here tonight.
Woo! All right, so I'm just loading up the images. We'll start with. I can hear myself playing back. I don't know where that's coming from.
Are you using Chrome? Because Chrome tells you now.
Chrome tells me if what? Oh, hold
Oh,
on.
never mind.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, I
hear
can
it.
Quite a
hear you.
delay.
Is somebody watching this on both YouTube and thingy?
Thought I closed my window.
All right, so let's start with Abby's work.
Let's see.
Mugen Gincha.
Yep.
The past is haunting us.
All right. And start and go.
There we go. I can see what they were doing. Yeah. I think the main thing that fails here is it is static, so there's not much. Like the poses are good, but there's not much real motion behind them.
I'm a little I'm a little confused about how they're posed, because one of Umbreon's legs appears to have disappeared, and I can't tell if Glaceon's standing on Umbreon. And
I think Glaceon's standing behind Umbreon. I can see that fairly easily.
Did they forget
Very-
to color a leg?
maybe.
Might have.
Hind left leg on the Umbreon.
I think she did it for both legs actually. The other one's fairly white too.
Okay, all right.
Or is that Glaceon's?
I can't tell from this angle actually.
Uh-oh.
It looks like it's Umbreon's just for that little bump at the bottom.
Yeah.
I think that's just been a missed color.
Umbreon looks really happy.
Yeah.
Is it biting Glaceon's tail? I think it's biting Glaceon's tail.
Yeah.
See?
It all
Is
just
it?
looks like Glaceon's behind him. It
Is
doesn't
it?
look like
Can't-
this.
It kind of looks like it might be, but because of where the bottom line of the tail is placed, I can't confirm it. There's nothing denoting that the teeth are sinking down onto it whatsoever.
Yeah. I think this is just a perspective problem then. I think the side-on angle definitely does suck a lot of the energy out of what this battle could be.
Yeah.
There's that. And then there doesn't seem there's that, but then there's also the lack of depth in what they're sitting on, because I know that they've got perspective-wise, they've got it at a decent enough angle, but at the moment it's very flat, partly because of the side-on angle and also because of the lack of, shading or denotion of who's in front of who.
Like the background looks okay. The background's nicely drawn. It suffices for what it needs to do. But yeah, the lack of any shading means there's no shadow under the Umbreon, so we can't tell if he's above the ground or if he's on the ground. There's no shading at all to give any of the Pokemon just that 3D look to make it. They look like cartoons, which would work if that was what you were aiming for and that's the style. That's essentially what you're trying to work with. But in this case, I think more. I think that wasn't entirely what was supposed to be happening here. So I think just it does need shading.
It needs a little bit of shading. I got a critique forever ago from one of our old judges. Shadows also have a purpose in not just noting where light is, but also anchoring the subject in their background. So as it stands right now, they don't look like they're anchored into their own background. Like, it really could use even very very little basic shading, at least denoting that the Umbreon is lying on its back on the ground, if only because if only the simple elliptical tool like cartoons do, anyways. So there's that, and then again, we can't tell if Glaceon's on top of Umbreon or not because of the lack of depth, and that could be mitigated by the shadows, if only because showing which side's down.
Yeah, shadows help add like literal weight to a picture sometimes.
I think
but yeah.
an adjustment of composition would help a little bit too. Like how we were confused if Glaceon's tail is in Umbreon's mouth or not. I think just by moving that would solve that problem.
I'm looking at Kitsnia. Oh my god, I am going to mispronounce your name always forever. In the chat points out that they look like they're playing more than fighting, and
I think they are.
That's what the picture says. Apparently, Mugen had some health issues in getting it done. Before getting it
That's
done,
fair.
So so like, if we're ragging on you, we apologize, but
we don't criticize the artist's talent in general. Like we just judge the piece itself. So while we're well aware that Mugen Ginja she is relatively good, and overall, but I think just in this case, this picture, it could use shading and stuff. But I think one of the things I like the most is the line art, because that does actually help with depth, because you can see the two main figures in the foreground, the Pokemon, have nice thick outlines, whereas the background, it's fairly thin. So it does separate them from the background in that sense. They don't look lost in it. They stand out very well. And the bits of snow that's in the most foreground is nice and thick too. So that does help with the depth. But I think seeing as they're on ice, which I assume that's ice, and since ice is so flat and plain and there's not really much else to go on, shadows would have really helped in this situation, even if just a little bit of shadowing.
I agree entirely about the line work. It's always so crisp and clear, and I'm actually a little envious of it, to be honest. But
yeah, no, look how straight she managed to get all the curves and stuff.
Oh.
Mine always looks so wobbly.
All right, shall we go to Trainer Andrea's work then?
Alrighty.
Sure.
But of course.
That's not Trainer Andrea's work. That's my standby picture. Hold on. Here we go.
And what stands out the most here is the movement, and the angle actually makes both Pokemon look fairly powerful.
Very nice.
You can clearly see that the Volcarona is moving very quickly. You can see that from that trail that's coming from the wings, which is very nice actually. The fire looks a bit see-through and wispy, I think. It's not blazing like the way fire usually is, but you can see what it is, so it's fairly clear. Yeah. But yeah, that angle, that slightly downward angle, does make both Pokemon look fairly powerful. So it all around looks like a battle of beasts.
And then the movement of the Volcarona around Armaldo is really nice. That really does.
It's good composition.
Interest. It's also good contrast, because that's the yellow.
Oh yeah, the color contrast is good too.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I think my main critique, the rocks, which I think is supposed to be, I've forgotten the name now, Ancient Power or something like that, I think. They look a bit static, which I suppose would make sense, since you could argue that they're not meant to be moving that quickly, but I reckon maybe a bit more force behind those would help. Even if just in the purple lines, you could probably just make that look like it's trailing a bit, like the fire is. Just make it look like it's shooting upwards.
I would also suggest that a little bit of dirt dropping down, because it would fake the idea that they're moving upward. even if they aren't actually moving upward. It would at
Because they
least.
would have been torn out of the ground, so yeah, there would be a bit of dust at least coming off.
And then the main rock I would personally put the dirt around would be the one near the Volcarona, the furthest left rock, because that also kind of goes into the curve that Volcarona's fire is doing, so it's not too obtrusive. And if it was also purple tinted, or like the purple was smeared down a little bit from that specific rock, it wouldn't look too obtrusive, but it would also look like it actually is different from Volcarona's fire enough that we could tell what's going on.
The what is it called? The motion, the line, the eye line sort of thing. You know, when your eye follows the picture depending on the most strongest thing and where that takes you. Yeah, that is mostly good here because you can. There's a lot of that with the Volcarona and the trail of Volcarona, but it doesn't really. Once you get to the head of the Volcarona or the end of the flame trail, depending on which way you're going, there's nothing that's really taking you back to the what's that called again? That Pokemon.
Armaldo?
That's it, Armaldo. Yeah, there's nothing really taking it to the Armaldo. It's just sort of going around in a big circle. So I reckon even Athens' idea of having that rock there and having a bit of a dirt trail coming off it, I reckon if you curved that to sort of fit the trail of the fire, just that would really pull it all back together, yeah.
I'm going to disagree just slightly about your line of movement. I do think that the line of movement does work because just a little bit. I do agree with you that it does kind of stop around Armaldo's face in Volcarona, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing because Armaldo's face is right there. Like, you start off with the most brightest contrast thing, which is the orange flame trail at the bottom right with the purple rock there, the dark background, and you kind of loop around and it goes in a spiral.
True, yeah. I do feel like it's a bit too sudden a turn, though. Because the way the fire moves, it's a very nice curve, that sort of thing, but then you're just suddenly moving straight back down to the Armaldo. So, I don't know, I just feel like there should have been just even a bit more of a curve to that to make it more natural or something. Or just to flow a bit better.
Right. I was looking at Weird Things critique. I hope you don't mind I am doing that and pointing that out. You do point out a good point that it does look like Volcarona's being hit with the rocks. No, you're not a bad judge. Everybody has to start somewhere, but you do point out a good point in that Volcarona does look like it's being hit with the rocks, but it doesn't look like visually it's being hit with the rocks. You do point out the face, which is a good thing. I actually just found something on Tumblr about composition, and it has basically every single compositional trick and tip I have in my toolbox. I'll link that someplace. Let me know where, and I can send it to you guys. It is honestly beautiful, but it does point out the face thing. We are going to want to go looking for the faces, which is why I'm going to Armaldo's face. But Unaware Thing brings up Volcarona's face, and if the Ancient Power is hitting Volcarona, you are right. It doesn't look like he's actually being hit with the Ancient Power. So
yeah, it looks like it's about to hit him, or he's dodging it, or something like that.
Or he's laughing.
Yeah.
But there is that. I don't know. Just pointing that out.
I think the only other thing I could... Yeah, go on, sorry.
No, sorry. Just building up on the discussion regarding the line of motion, because I'm an oldie and I tend to remember the points after the one you're currently discussing. The line of motion to me transitions, like Athens said, in more like a clear spiral motion. Like the fact that the layout of the wings still follows that line down, doesn't interrupt my thing at all. It eventually centers in on Armaldo's face for me.
Okay.
Because you start seeing the details, and as your eye follows the fire trail and past Volcarona's head and onto one of the rocks from Ancient Power, past the wings and around and back onto Armaldo's face. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not saying it's completely ineffective because it is good. I just mentioned mainly that it could be improved a little, but overall it is good. Like it does work.
It
Yeah,
can be pushed a little further.
yeah.
I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. It could be adjusted a bit, but yeah, it does do its job.
Yep. I also need to applaud the use of the very dark background with the dark purples.
It really does make the colors stand out, and the colors do look really nice with this.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice. It's also a very nice way of cheating out of the background for great effectiveness because it does create contrast, and the color that Andrea chose, the purple and the black, do counterbalance well with the yellows in the fire. And while they will tell you never use road purple and road orange to road yellow to create strict contrast, it is okay to cheat. It is okay to bend them into subsets, just as long as you're not putting like super saturated green next to super saturated red, you'll be fine. I mean, there's like as long as you're not
We
doing
end up
that.
with super saturated Christmas.
Yeah, and if you do the orange and purple, you get super saturated. Orange and blue, you get CSI Miami, and if you do yellow and purple, you get Halloween.
Yeah.
But yes, otherwise this is very successful.
Not a bad piece at all, and
Yeah.
totally understandable why it won the battle. So well done.
Yes.
Well done to both participants.
Yes.
Yeah, and next time we do battle analysis, we'll actually, if they have a request for battle analysis, they can post it here. We might go on a tangent and actually look at some of the works from the Meander for once, because some particularly good ones there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could also
as
look
for
at super contrast entries if we really wanted to too.
yeah.
If you want, we could take a look at a couple of them now.
Yeah, bring one up. We'll do one. We
Can you do
technically
screen
started
share?
it, so.
How would you do that?
I'll post it up if you can't. I just need you to point out which ones in the gallery.
Let's go with well, how about let's do. Do you guys want to do first, second, and third?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
All right. Announcement for those watching who didn't check out the journal yet. First place was Ramian Khoury, which is Freya the Arcane's character, with their pirate Cacturn.
Is this cool contest round 1? Here we go. There we go.
There we go. Oh, look at that.
Everyone all right?
I just dropped my phone. It's all good.
I like it. It does look nice, yeah. I think the quickest thing I notice is the tangent that the sword is making. It's just touching the very edge of the frame.
Just barely.
Yeah. I do like the style with this though. Like it is fitting.
I did like the use of lineless. It really. I don't know why, but it really did help make it look cool. Like really in your face, punch cool. Like I mentioned before, this is very difficult, so I ended up having to kind of rely on, for some of the higher echelons, higher rankings, just which one was cool. Just which one was more
That's
in
fair,
your face,
yeah.
punch cool.
Yeah.
It's a really nice. It's very consistent with its own style, and that's always what you want to look for with regards to the contest entries. I reckon is they're not they've set on doing a particular style for a piece of work, and there's no break in consistency whatsoever throughout the entire piece.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And then they carry it over into their performance piece, which I think is also really that one just really punches it.
We almost want to steal this piece for the Worldbook, but I'm not going to. Right, so let me just get the URL for that. Let's plop back here. Here we go.
First of all, it's very obvious it's sword stance, and I appreciate that. Yes, it's also it uses that monochromatic swash of green very well.
Yeah.
Which is also very cool, and it does help bring the swords out, which make it cool. And then, of course, he's got the sword in his hand as a pirate. It really does help that.
I think my biggest complaint is just how squished it is up the top. I reckon, considering he's on top of, like, the very, very top, I reckon a bit of sky just above his head would have really brought that out, that sense of height and openness. And I think, yeah, it is just a bit squished. Just there. But overall, I like it. I like that the style's been consistent. It's consistent from both pieces and within the piece itself. There's nothing that doesn't look like it should fit. It all really ties together.
Yes. And there's that transparency of the swords themselves within the background, so it doesn't even look like it's awkwardly placed, and that's nice. I do agree with you about it being cramped, although I didn't really notice it at the top or bottom in first glance, personally.
It's not so bad at the bottom. Like, it is very tight where the sword ends to when the actual picture ends. But considering that the cacturn is towards the top, that entire space underneath him counts as space. So it's not really as bothersome as at the top, where the top of his head is pretty much where the picture ends as well. So I reckon just a bit of sky would have really helped, given that sense of space that he's really high up. But overall, like, it is a good picture.
Yes.
Very sweet. Who was second?
Second was Trainer Andrea with her Gardevoir.
That caught my eye at the gallery, to be perfectly honest. I got I was like, are we? Is this a performance piece for cool, or are we just properly getting ready for a party?
Linux says swagtastic.
It is swagtastic. Although I here we go.
Wow.
Son, I want that shirt.
That is very cool.
It took me 3 days to realize that she was doing digital pirate, like pirating music and pirating DVDs. It took me 3 days to realize that. But that
is very good. Yeah.
That just that hit it. That was like that's. She took both themes and she ran with it, and I loved it. I love the interpretation of this.
Notes those are DJ Pond 3 glasses. But I'm just gonna.
Oh dear. See, I'm not a brony. I'm not a brony. So any of these My Little Pony references just go straight over my head.
Oh, I don't watch the shows at all. Just the occasional fan animation that shows up on YouTube, but they are really well done, and they basically bring it into kind of like a real worldish setting. But that's enough of me plugging them. YouTube.com/user just Jan Animations. Okay, so that's the presentation. Let's go for the
Performance.
performance. The performance is amazing.
Unaware things complaining there's not enough explosions.
I think I'm starting to suspect that not enough explosions either comes from. You remember back in the early days, I think there was a trainer duo that every work they submitted, something exploded.
Oh, I remember them! Auntie and
Yeah.
Sheepy.
Mm-hmm.
Literally everything exploded. But
Yeah. And then we kind of pointed out, you can't. This kind of gets old after a few deviations. Not denying your amazing work, but oh my God, it's explosions every time.
Moving on to the piece itself. This was cool. I like that it was immediately obvious it was light screen. That was creative. That was creative. Again, I thought this was really cool. Nice performance. Although I do feel like I have to point out there is a reason that this one scored second place as opposed to first, and it's mostly because of being judge's preference. I felt like while this was extremely cool, it didn't punch me nearly in the face as hard as first place did, which unfortunately is a hair's difference. I do like the interpretation of this. If it were me, I would try to. I almost want those light screens to be a little more eye-searing if they could. And it would be like putting those light screens, taking them, copying them, putting them on another layer, and then putting them through the saturation effect in Photoshop to just make it utterly neon super saturated. I know we say don't do that unless you got a point. Well, this is the point to doing
Yeah. I feel a bit of disconnect here because there's all of these CDs. There's a download complete shirt there, and that's done in a particular font, and that's been warped to conform to the texture, to the textile that it's sitting on. But all of the screens are hand drawn instead, like all of the screen text.
Yeah.
It just strikes me as really weird that on the level of preference, one would do handwriting on the screen text instead of doing what she already did with the shirt and warping it.
Yes.
I agree.
That does seem like a little bit of a strange disjunct. This would be one of those times where using text in your image would actually help, because then it would be like you'd see all that.
Yeah.
Unaware thing brings up putting sheen on the light screens to make them look like actual screens, like force field screens.
I think that would help. Yeah, just especially because there's clearly a lot of beam lighting in the background, so that would affect the light screen to a point.
It would also make them less visible and not opaque as they faded further into the back, which you don't see with the two smaller screens. And I'm not sure what the convenient sensor screen is doing there, but it's there. But I mean, overall, it's a great piece. It's just if I stay looking at it for longer than 5 seconds, you start noticing these things. But yeah, I'm not the judge of this cool contest. You are, so I'm just gonna leave the onus of.
If you guys disagree with me, please say. Please speak.
Oh, look, I'm just pointing out stuff that I see because I'm just looking at all of this talent and gushing. And I've had some now I've actually had some time to really look at it. So who scored third place for you?
Third place was Ryua's piece with the pirate Charizard.
Ah, yes. So. Here we go.
Nice. I like the pose.
Yes, the pose is very nice. Something I didn't even notice until very late in the week was that if you were to do a cool contest with a pirate, would you pick Charizard?
Yeah. It's pretty much its own armory.
It is a fire Pokemon, though.
Do you imagine boarding parties with a Charizard at the helm? He would burn the ship if he didn't board it already.
But if you splash him, he dies.
It'd be like One Piece, but worse.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, he could probably
live like it's your last day. Where's your sense of adventure? I mean, yar.
Like, he could honestly fire blast your ship from a distance, and then you're screwed at that point. But
all he needs to do is fire blast, flame wheel. I don't care if he does it from a distance. You won't approach. You won't even get within the range to splash anything on him.
His tail is a fire hazard, though, because if he's not careful, he's going to set fire to his own ship.
Well, that's a danger that we'll just have to take. Usually, I don't carry overwhelming preferences for Charizards being pirates, but this is the kind of I'm living at the absolute knife edge of danger appeal to me. The safe bet would probably be, I don't know, Blastoise, because hell, Mega Blastoise is perfect for any sort of pirate ship.
Goblin Cannon!
I can't see Blastoise being a very agile pirate, though.
He doesn't need to be an agile pirate. He just needs to blow stuff to smithereens. It's not. Your ship needs to be fast. You don't need to be fast. If you can ruin an enemy ship before they have a chance to board you, you've won the day.
If you're trying to capture them, though.
Yeah. Okay. So I will also point out that Ryua almost nails Ocean Shimmer.
Yes, it is very, very good. Very close to Ocean Shimmer, and I haven't been on the darn ocean. Excuse my language. But
I live next to we live next to the ocean here. 80% of the population lives near the coast. Essentially, if the sea level suddenly rose, we'd all be dead. But yeah, Ocean Shimmer, Lake Shimmer, there's a certain pattern that Shimmer follows, and really, really close. I would say, though, that as far as Ocean Shimmer is concerned, the scale is completely off.
A bit, yeah.
But I'm not criticizing. I'm nitpicking on the Ocean Shimmer just because it's what grabbed me on the piece.
I do like how much that Ocean Shimmer strengthens the sense of depth with that ocean. Like, it really does look like it extends far into the distance, and I think that really looks good here.
It's
it
great.
Really does. It very nice.
If she used a smaller brush and a bit more, a bit less on the transparency, she'd nail it. Because yeah, the scale for it makes it look like the waves are big and fat, and that's not always the case. You do have those big undulating waves, but even in as little detail as possible, you're gonna get smaller, tiny waves, and that helps add to the effect of the shimmer. But that's my only nitpick, really. Pirate Charizards are cool.
Charizard looks like he's on the darn ocean. And then there's the feather detail, like it's blowing in the wind, and then flames bent like it's in the wind, and then he's got his wings. It's like he really is on the darn ocean. And I love the costume choice.
Oh yes,
that sells it. I'm a sucker for Pokemon in a stylish hat.
Oh, by the way, completely related to this, if you want to do example drawings for Pokemon dressed up as a particular class in the Meander, they're accepting those entries too. There are, for Meander 2.0, and I'm just giving away a bad preview about this, but for any future projects involving the Meander, I believe there are 45 classes. 15 base classes and 2 prestige classes for each, I think, but they're essentially the same thing. So yeah, there's a busload of extra things if this ever becomes the big project. Here's the performance round.
Now,
I
normally
really like the movement here.
the blur would be a problem, but I really like it here. It really does look like he's flying up and he's going to friggin' slash the ever-loving crap out of everybody. And then you see the ship at the bottom. You can see the ship near the bottom and it's tiny in perspective. And
it really does look like he's way up in the air, which I know is really tough to do when you've got simple backgrounds like the ocean, but it's done really well here.
Yeah, I'm a little iffy about the sword length, but I'll let it pass.
I reckon the sword itself could have more curve, not just blur. I reckon it should actually curve.
Just a little bit. It looks like it looks a little thicker than a rapier, to be honest, to curve like that. But then again, what do I know?
Yeah. The bottom the sword the Charizard is holding in the right hand looks a bit wonky in the blur.
A little, yeah.
Just a little. But anyway, really good performance round.
No, I really like that, yeah.
And then you were pointing out the ocean shimmer before.
Shimmer works in this scale.
Yes, it does.
The shimmer works on this scale.
Very nice.
All right. Yep.
In terms of the first three, they all really rock the interpretation. The two honorable mentions, both of them were executed extremely well. I don't know if you want to look at them if we have time. But
do we have time?
Should, yeah.
All right.
What are we looking at?
Honorable mention number 1 is Linux entry with his pirate rocker Frostlass.
Oh yes. I shall load that up once it decides. Yep. Do. It's quite big.
Yes, it is a very big file.
Loading.
It's got to load all that fat booty. It's got to load that fat booty.
Is it loaded? It's loaded. It should be loaded.
I really like that.
This is executed very well. I
really like that style. That is very cute.
Yes. I thought it pretty straightforward. I think the biggest problem in why it only scored as high as honorable mention despite being executed as well as it did is because the appeal and the performance felt disjointed to me. And the performance didn't really say anything toward either performance outside of creating the waves of Frostlass zipping across the sea, which is cool, but on the other hand, it doesn't really say pirate or rock star to me. And it felt a bit cramped.
Loading the performance round now. We're back to dial up. There you go.
Yeah. It's done really well. Both pieces are done very well. Don't get me
No, they're
wrong.
really well drawn. I can see what you mean, though.
So that was the presentation, and then appeal, and then performance.
Yes, appeal and performance. Like, I think I mentioned in my critique reasoning, I almost feel like this could have been done a little better. If only because if it were me, I wouldn't have done water. I'd have pulled a Scrooge McDuck, and I would have done it with the gold. The swag, fat booty that she had in the appeals round. Like, yeah, waves are cool, but what if it was a wave of gold? A wave of gold doubloons. Now that's cool.
Ultra swag.
Yes. And then
Okay.
surfing and booty, maybe. The other honorable mention is Mugen Ginga's work with her Ziggy Stardust Absol.
Oh gosh. I'm just wow. I used to be a fan of Ziggy Stardust. That's not a confession, by the way.
I think I have the album somewhere in my files. Somewhere in my library I have the album, but...
I sat through an entire concert video of the Spiders. That was amazing. That's the appeal around. God, I'm old. Let me just get the performance round. Also, if you, by the way, if you're listening to this and I see you create a character named Major Tom, you're gonna get it from me.
You will earn all of my respect. In fact,
so that's the performance round. So
yes.
Thoughts, Athens?
Mostly, I was impressed by like Lunix's piece, I was impressed by the technical ability. Also, like Lunix, I feel like Mugen could have pushed this a little further. If only because I wanted to make sure that whatever visual styles they were using in the rock album art that they were using for Ziggy Stardust gets transferred over, because I feel like the makeup on Absol is a little lacking. Like, it's very subtle, and I don't think that pushed it as far as it could have been pushed, especially because the red makeup that Absol's wearing blends in very easily with its dark skin fur. But I don't even know anymore. But so I ended up pulling up a Google image search, putting in Ziggy Stardust, and I was bombarded with these very bright red oranges and the blue and then the pale skin. And I'm thinking...
Oh, don't you worry, I'm getting a reference image.
You'll see what I'm talking about. I almost feel like these aren't cool enough. Like, I feel like it could have been pushed a little further artistically to help push it into the ultra cool range. Like, if it did use the color of the art that of the photos and art that I was seeing, I feel like that kind of color contrast and matchup would have helped push it forward. As it stands, the big bright red is in the performance with the musical. Yeah, see, that's what I got when I punched it in. I had to turn it off at work because I'm thinking, oh dear God, what will these guys think if they saw Ziggy Stardust on my computer? X. But I feel like while I love the reference to the spiders from Mars by having it look like it's set on Mars, I almost feel like you could have dropped that entirely for just a straight Ziggy Stardust reference and going with the color schemes that are apparent with the art here and what we see here with the bright red and the pale skin. I feel like Absol is a good choice for this, but I almost feel like you could brighten the
you could
face.
take it further.
Yeah, take it much further, and then the bright red-orange could punch the viewer in the eye. Like, as it stands, it's a little subdued, which isn't... It's not...
Yeah, and the whole point about Ziggy Stardust was that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, that's kind of why I went the way I did. It did get honorable mention because it is done extremely well.
Super contests, matching you into popular culture.
I mean, that's kind of part of the idea of using the contest and giving you themes is to try and explore those themes. And one of the things that I was always preached in during my art classes and design classes is look at what's been done, and then it's not necessarily try not to do what they did, but take what they did and interpret it some way or somehow else. So like, if we're doing a super contest about rock and roll, I love that you chose Ziggy Stardust. I love the fact that you want to do that, but I almost feel like if you want to do it, you have to do it and punch us in the face with Ziggy Stardust references, just so that we feel that it is inspired by Ziggy Stardust, but it isn't Ziggy Stardust to begin with. Like, there's no way you could do a realistic portrait of Ziggy Stardust looking like Absol, although if you did, I don't know what I would do. But like some of this stuff, I mean, just screams, use me as reference, even though it's somebody else's work. What was it? Pablo Picasso said, "Good artists borrow, great artists steal." So like, I'm not condoning art theft. Do not take it that way. But like, an artist will take ideas from somewhere else, rip them off, and turn them into something else by themselves. And that's
the core of innovation.
Yes.
The core of innovation is taking something somebody's already pioneered and making it your own thing and making it better and pushing that envelope forward.
Which is kind of what trainer Andrea did with her piece. Is she took the concept of pirate and rock and roll and she turned it into a digital pirate, which is super creative, super innovative. And while I do, again, I'm not bashing anybody's work saying this, I'm just saying punch it further. And this goes for all the contests. I know we've got the cute contest coming up next and the beauty contest after that, but with each one of them, take it as far extreme as you possibly can. And
definitely, yeah.
Execution-wise, this is great. I just think that the thematic material could have been integrated a little more and made it punch further.
There you go. Something to think about for the cute round.
The theme for the cute round, by the way, is magical girls and magical boys. So I'm already I'm expecting super frilly stuff as it is, and gemstones and glistening sparkles and shoujo eyes. I'm expecting all of that. The other theme, candy, and I decided to throw sweets in there because I can't imagine doing a strict candy round. Why not throw in every dessert possible?
I have no idea how you managed to sync this with the release of the new Sailor Moon series, but okay.
Like the announcement of the Super Contests with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was entirely an accident. You'll find that a lot of my greatest innovations have been total accidents.
That's usually how some of the greatest innovations happen.
The Powerpuff Girls, for instance.
Yes.
But yes. There you have it. Everybody did an excellent job with the Super Contests. I need to say that you all did a very excellent job. It did make it very hard for me to have to pick, ribbon places. So, yeah. Take your strengths, push them further, and then if you have a source material, take those ideas, turn it into your own, and punch it through the darn wall.
So looking forward to see what happens in the cute round. Looking forward to see what happens in room 4, room 5. A lot of things are happening in the IPL right now.
So many things.
All right, I think that's everything we have for IPLcast 7 today.
I think so.
Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Thanks to everybody who participated. Thank you, thank you guys as usual for being with us, and thank you all for watching. And if as per usual, you can find us at the DeviantArt site or on YouTube. Just follow us, give us feedback, all of the usual stuff. And we'll catch you for IPLcast 8.
In 2
So-
weeks.
Oh boy.
In 2 weeks,
We should have a new
unless
Pokemon
it buys further. But yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Woo! Yeah, because in 2 weeks, 2 weeks you'll be in room 5, I think, unless you take it really slow on room 4, turn 2.
I reckon they'll be in room 5 by then.
They'll be in room 5. Oh my goodness, the turn only goes for 5 days, and you guys people have been thwacking
Mm.
targets.
Yeah, tracking targets is their specialty.
The unaware thing won't be an IPLcast 8 sad face.
Mm.
No.
That's all right. We'll you know what? We'll just put this guy for you. All right, we'll keep it there. All right, that's it. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Yeah.